Hey, welcome to the Overshare Pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show coming to you every Monday, 6 a.m. UK time. And today we are doing a little bit of a usual pop culture roundup because nothing major has happened in pop culture this week. I mean, you could argue, I guess, like whatever's going on Love Island is major, but you know, Love Island, something happens every episode, so it's not, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, I guess, for that show. But I guess one thing that's really been, I guess, important for the general pop culture environment has been the one and only Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding that was rumored until the very last minute to be happening at Madison Square Garden, and in the end it actually did. Yeah, so we definitely we'll talk about that for sure, 100%. Also, Madonna, her album has finally come out, Confessions 2, and I have some thoughts about that. I'm not gonna go like deep into details about like every single track, but I will just give a short overview, I guess, of my feelings regarding this album. And then yeah, so mostly this, I do want to say that I am watching Love Island actively. I'm actually watching both the UK and the US version this year back to back, at the same time, because they are coming out, by the way, at the same time as well. So that's very funny, but it is keeping me entertained, and I just like usually watch it. Like I watch the US one in the morning when I wake up, getting ready for work, because that's usually coming out here overnight, so I don't have time to watch that overnight. I don't want to wake up for Love Island USA, to be honest. And then I watch the UK one in the evening sometimes when I can catch up on it. Just do dishes, cooking, whatever. Just usually put it in the background, but sometimes crazy shit happens, and I just like go run and see what they're doing. And man, man, it is good. Man, it is good. So I guess you know what? Let me just talk up quickly about Love Island USA. I'm taking the authoritative decision to talk about that for a little bit, just a short while, just to let you guys know what are my thoughts on the main couples. I want to actually, you know what? I'm just going to talk about Love Island USA, because I would argue, as many are on the internet at the moment saying, this year has been a bit of a change in the usual trend. Usually, Love Island UK is the one that is beloved, and is specifically beloved by by the Americans for whatever reason. The American audience loves Love Island UK, and I think the British people love it too. But this year, for some reason, the Love Island USA has been popping off, and I think the main reason is that the people are getting very messy in this season of the US one. Like they're actually properly arguing up and down. I would say almost every episode. But anyways, who are my favorites? Love Trinity down. She's my favorite. Probably I would say like she's probably my number one, as as it is the case for many people. I think because she has reached 1 million followers. She was at like I don't know what 50K when she started, and then now she's at 1 million. That's crazy. Love Kata as well. I love Anaya. I do like Anaya. I think I had an interesting relationship with Anaya because I think Anaya has made some choices that I personally wouldn't have made. I would have seen this shit coming to me. But you know what? It's a greater testament to like her devotion, I guess. It's like and her loyalty, I guess. And then of course Melanie. Melanie, my queen. She's probably the one who has the worst moral compass. Not moral compass. More like moral judgment. Let's just say she has the right ideas. Let's just say, but she doesn't really put them into practice for herself. Anyways, the girls, the core four, as the internet has labeled them, they're tied. They're amazing. They're so good together, and I just enjoyed it so much ever since Casa happened, specifically as well. How they've been just uniting and just going after each other's very very unreliable man. I would say most of the time, they're in the right. So it's very fun and it's very good and it's very entertaining to see the girls come together and tear down these men. And honestly, like this is just a very eye opener about. Well, I guess specifically, of course, it is about U.S. dating. I guess like people in the U.S. men, straight couples, I guess in the U.S. how they're dating and all that. What's their culture there and what are men and women up to? But I think it's also general like a general commentary on more recent changes in how our generation, I guess, slightly younger generation as well. Like people in their 20s basically are dating these days. Um, well, mostly straight couples, of course, because there's only straight couples in this show. But yeah, and I'm surprised to see like how many straight men in this show are so deceitful and so insincere. Sincere, we'll get to him later, but that's such a fitting name because he's the most insincere man on the show. But yes, so many of these men are like so like you know lustful and not emotionally intelligent by any stretch of the imagination. They're not willing to um, spend time with someone and to deepen conversations and like to get deeper into their own, you know. I mean, to in a way, what's new? Like this is just like what what's been the story for the past many years, eons. It's always been like this. But I think it's just sad to see that how you know impatient they've become even more. These men specifically, they're so quick to just jump ships and to just openly lie to um, all of their partners, and how easy it is for them to also just talk shit about them when they're not there. Just disrespect anyone basically. And I'm very surprised. On the other hand, also that most of these women are still um, holding them down and just helping them out, like, and still waiting for them to like and forgiving them and all that. I mean, I know forgiveness is a great, is a great character value to have in that sense, but um, um, I don't know. I think sometimes certain things happen and you shouldn't forgive certain actions. I think not everyone deserves to be forgiven, or at least everyone deserves a second chance. That's my ammo, I guess. But not everyone deserves to be endlessly forgiven. That's just not right. Because also you're gonna look a fool and you're gonna be Trump. You're gonna be like basically used as a mat. Let's just say. Um, and in a way, it is surprising that these men are actually repeatedly engaging in this behavior. Specifically, I'm talking about Sincere. Like, I think who has actually turned out to be the snakiest of them all, even more than Casey, to be honest, and Corbin or whatever. I mean, these three men specifically, they just jump ships immediately whenever they have the chance. They just do. But then they're also not open about it. And I think the girls are actually very, specifically Trinity, which, by the way, she is 22 years old, and at 22 she's eating these men up and telling the full truth and being so real about this thing. Like, she also told them so many times, like, all of them do, to be honest, when they have a chance to argue against each other, that what they actually really want is not like to not have them explore all the connections or whatever they want to call it, but it's for them to actually like be disrespectful to their current couple, and like to be disrespectful towards their own women and their feelings, and just actually even saying very bad words about them. Like, Casey called Anaya a grandma immediately as soon as he went to casa. Like, what are we doing? How do you expect to come back from that? And they have the audacity to even counter argue and say, "Oh, you guys were doing the same when we were away. You guys were also exploring relationships." Like, you don't get the point. This is not the point. The point is to be, of course, exploring, but not to do it in such a like disrespectful manner and saying all these outrageous things. Now, Kenzie is the only exception in the girls, I would say. Kenzie, and yeah, Kenzie, I would say like she's just, she's a very confused girl. I would say she just doesn't know what she wants, and she like just wants to be desired by everyone, and she has a lot of self-esteem issues, I would say. But so does like it's the same situation for the boys. Like, they're all so, you know, impatient and quick to jump and change and to, like, be wanted by everyone, and everyone that shows a little interest in them to just go for it just for the sake of it. I mean, what? And then when they're confronted about it, instead of, like, being open and honest about it, they just lie and lie and lie and lie. And I think that's the very hurtful thing. And just, like, act like a fool then, and just, not having a backbone. I guess that's the main point. Um, Same thing with Casey. Casey saying that you never felt chosen. It's like, what do you mean? You've been chosen by this woman the whole time, and maybe and Trinity was actually so right to go call him out. Like, maybe you didn't like her physically, and it wasn't lusting over her, and he's never been interested in her in the beginning. So he just used her to stay in the villa, and just to, like, you get to this point when he brought back Titi was just that Titi Titi. Oh my god. Titi and Trinity, when they went back and forth, it was just so funny to me. But I don't know. People are calling it out on social media for double standards, saying, like, the women are doing the same, and no one is calling them out. I was like, yeah, but none of them have been shit talking the other men to other people, and saying any of these things, and then going back on their words and all that, and it's just, like, deceitful. Promising they wouldn't. They haven't made promises they haven't broken. Basically, let's just say, and you cannot say the same about these men. They've just been utterly disrespectful for no reason, and that's disappointing to see, honestly. But anyways, I'm pretty sure. What's his name? Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure Trinity is gonna win this season. Her man is fine. Her man is actually one of the most the nicer guys, I guess, like the nicer guys on the island. So that's very cute to see. But she's definitely gonna win. I think she has the most votes already. She's already declared to be in a relationship with him. So that's my 2 cents. It's been for a little bit, but that's what that's what I think, basically. Yeah. So let's get on to the real deal, which is the Taylor Swift wedding. Now, I think that this whole thing about, like, the mystery about, like, whether it was actually at Madison Square Garden or whether it was, like, someone else's. I mean, it was done probably to try and avoid causing a massive stir and, like, having a lot of people camp outside of the Madison Square Garden to just, try and see Taylor or whatever. But you know what? What really seems to have, like, angered, I guess, the people is just the mere fact that it actually did happen at Madison Square Garden. And you know what? I don't think. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it is a massive wedding. It was what I think people said, like 1,000 people. What do you expect? I mean, like, Dua Lipa and Calm Turner went to Sicily and booked part of the like, bought part of the city for like 3 days. They rented basically part of Palermo for a while. Like, these are people who are, one, extremely rich, so they're, like, sort of a little bit out of touch as well. Of course, it's nothing new, but also at the same time, like, logistically, I think the Madison Square Garden is such a perfect place for such a big wedding. Like, she said multiple times she wanted to go for a big wedding, so I think logistically to have something like that and still be, in a way, quote unquote, private, it wouldn't have happened in any other better place, if I have to be honest. So that to me was the most, that's the choice that made the most sense. I'm with the people when it comes to, like, how much of the carbon footprint has been wasted for this wedding, and, like, all these people being moved around and being brought to this wedding, and her specifically, and Travis traveling so much around before the wedding and pre and post. Like, that's definitely something that is always gonna be, unfortunately, following Taylor forever until she starts to change her attitude towards traveling and carbon footprint and all that. But the wedding itself, I don't know why you guys are so mad. Like, just grow up. Just, well, where do you think she was gonna do it? Like, realistically, where do you think she was gonna do it? It's Taylor Swift. She loves the spotlight. The relationship has always been very flashy. So what did you expect? Like, do you expect them to, like, just go private, like, Zendaya and Tom Holland? They've never been like that. They've had a very different relationship. from Tom Holland and Zendaya. So I am not shocked. I'm not surprised, and I'm not feeling any type of way about them doing that. And also, it seems from some quick snaps that some people managed to take that they completely redecorated the inside of the Madison Square Garden. Like sort of looks like a medieval castle or something inside. It looked so interesting. Um, Guys, you know what? Let her have fun. Is also yes. What's paramount, I think, in that sense, is that this is her day. She can choose to, spend it however she likes, and she has access to, both of them have access to a lot of money. So they, of course, were gonna go super super big with it. So that's what they did. Like, stop whining. Then there's a completely different, section of fandom that is, of course, always up to no good and conspiring about the stupidest shit ever about her sexuality and all these things that I will not be touching upon because I do not want to give space to any of these people, because this is just like stupid to speculate about someone's sexuality, especially when they're getting married to a man in this sense now. Like, leave her be. I never understood the appeal and the obsession of certain people about her sexuality. And, people trying to connect the dots and, like, confirmation bias. Like, whenever you think something is about that, you're just going to take it as a clue that it is. And, like, stop. If you really wish to have someone in your musical circle that you listen to that is queer, just go for Chapel Roan or like other queer artists. There are so many queer artists. Why do you feel the need to speculate so much about someone's private life, first of all, but also their sexuality? That's super wrong, and I do not want to give any more space on this. So, bye. That's that. And I will, even when I talk about one of these people that was invited to this wedding, I will not be engaging in any conversation. Thank you very much. If you know, you know. Yeah, so the guest list was incredible. There were so many famous people. Actually, like, it was I find it so funny on the internet. People were saying, like, if you're not invited to Taylor Swift's wedding, you officially are not cool, because many celebrities were invited to this. Even celebrities that you think would never be invited to that. You've had people like, well, of course, her besties are there. She's had Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper, who are dating at the moment. They were there. Ice Spice is there. Camila Cabello was there as well. Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Epperstein was also there. That's incredible. Tom Hanks, legend. Jennifer Lopez, legend. Brad Pitt, Cara Delevingne, Gracie Abrams, of course. Dakota Johnson. All the core Swiftie, like, famous people were there. And Millie Bobby Brown, of course, like all the famous, like, Swiftie celebrities were there. But then we get to people also who are a bit unexpected. I'm actually quite surprised that, they were there. Like, someone like, who was it? Oh my God, what's their name? That DJ duo. It's so funny. I can't remember their name. Oh my God, what is their name? We are never getting over. Dun, 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 dun. Chainsmokers. Why? Why were they there? I don't know. Weird, funny. Of course, Kelly Cross was there. Carly Kloss was there, and her husband. And that was a very hot topic because they haven't hung out since 2017 or something like that. So that was quite surprising. And, I think it's such a gag and such a classy move for Taylor to invite someone like her, especially since their relationship has been, like, friendship has been over for quite a while. It's such a interesting olive branch to send, or at least just, to have her around, because I actually don't know if it's an olive branch or not, but I do know Taylor likes to do things for the lore, and so she's invited people who are actually, part of her lore in her career, whether you like it or not, basically. So that was so funny. I was so surprised seeing that, to be honest. I was actually shocked. Very, very funny. Such a classy and gaggy move. So yeah, that was something else. I mean, Clark Gloss looked amazing. There were some paparazzi moments there that they were showing her in. I think it was like sort of like a golden dress or something. Very, very cool. um, yeah, so that was very surprising. Um, I am so excited to see what's next for her in terms of her career and everything else. Um, I'm also craving to see what everyone was dressed as, like what the dresses and everything else. And I want to see, of course, full pics of Taylor and Travis's attire, what they were dressed as, and all that. I definitely would like to know. I'm pretty sure a lot of sports people were also invited, but I do not know and I do not care, to be honest with you. And yeah, I mean, Taylor's married. That's, if you think about it, such a like a weird thing to say because her whole career has been about, like her whole story as an artist has been about talking about love and her relationships and how many wrong steps she took in with some people and how many times her heart has been broken, and to finally sort of tie a bow around that is such a interesting experience to have in general. So um, I'm, it's kind of bittersweet because that's the girl has always been talking about finding her the one for herself, and she seems like she finally did. Whether you know this relationship is for like forever or not, it's just time will tell. But in any event, this Travis has played the cards right, I guess, and he has gotten. Yeah, there must be something going on for him for her to marry him. You know what I mean? So um, I'm very happy about that. It's so interesting to see also what she's going to do next with her music. I'm excited to see what direction she's going to take. Whether she's actually going to um, show something a bit more, if she actually is going to actually produce, like, release any music anytime soon or not. I would maybe think she's not gonna do it this year, maybe next year. But maybe she'll, you know, gift us some Taylor's versions. Who knows? Some debutation. I'm never, I'll never stop believing in that. Even though she made a statement multiple times about it, I don't care. I think um, the Toy Story thing was definitely a tease for that. I mean, we'll see. I think in a way Taylor likes to get the money however she can. So if she needs to still be putting out stuff, she'll probably do like a surprise debut drop. So that's funny. Um, to conclude, I did want to talk about briefly about the Madonna album. Um, it was it's called Confessions too, which is like, of course, a play on her very famous album Confessions on a Dance Floor, that came out a whole while ago. Like, I'm talking about a couple decades, basically. So what do I think about this album? I think overall, I mean, you cannot deny that Madonna is a legend. Of course, it's just something that she's a staple in the culture. She's just an inspiration for many, many artists, and everyone is a Madonna fan. You know what I mean? Like, she is one of the OG pop stars, so you cannot deny that. I think this album specifically sounds very cohesive, very how to say, like, very precise with what it wants to be in a way, but to its own, I would say actually to its own detriment in a way, because all the songs sort of sound the same and don't stand out. And this is supposed to be like a dance album. It's very housey, don't get me wrong. You can actually dance to many of these songs, but all these seem like a reiteration, a little bit of Vogue. Her song Vogue, even the Sabrina Carpenter collaboration, sort of fits into that vibe. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, the one song that I really, really enjoyed from this album was the one with Martin Garrix, Bizarre. That was such a good one. But I think many of the songs on here are actually quite similar in vibe. And also, there's something about the vocal production on this album that is quite, I don't want to say dated, but it's sort of like, doesn't put it in the most freshest of sets in that sense. And I think, like, when she was talking about the dance floor is not that yet, I mean, yes, you could have proven that for 100%. Like, you could have done something super super splashy and everything. But at the moment, I don't think. I think we went past already the house influence, and hyperpop has taken over. I think quite a lot, and trance music as well, like EDM, trance, all these things have taken over the dance pop situation at the moment. And so I think this is just like a great homage to, like, I think a specific let's just say a specific demographic is going to enjoy this album, and it's perfect for them. I don't know how viable it is as a pop album, as a staple in her discography. I mean, this is just like day two of me listening to it, so I will revisit it, of course, and see if my feelings change. But yeah, but regardless, she is the queen, and to be doing this at this age still, she's just unstoppable. So give your flowers to Madonna. She's always been very supportive of many different communities, and she's always been very, very open about that. And even the Sabrina Carpenter song, their video and everything else, and their performances together, just gagged. That alone is worth celebrating and to uphold the album. So yeah, lovely to have you guys listen to this very confusing episode. A lot of like different things happening at the same time, but hopefully this roundup was interesting for you all. Let me know, in in the comments, if you what you think about the wedding, the Taylor Swift wedding. If you have any hot takes about Love Island USA, and if you did enjoy the album, and if you do, what's your favorite song on it? So yeah, I'll give the word to the sponsor, and then back for songs of the week. First playlist of first round of songs, I guess, for the playlist of July. See you in a bit. Okay, quick thing before we jump into the songs of the week. I wanted to talk to you guys about something very, very, very important that I think a lot of you would appreciate, especially if you're like just like me and you hate carrying around bulky pockets or dealing with a mess of keys every day. It's called Distill Union, and they make really well designed everyday essentials with this less is more philosophy. Instead of adding more stuff to your pockets, they just make the stuff that you already have and that you already carry work much better. Their Wally wallets are super slim, and use a clever magnetic closure to keep your cards secure without all the extra bulk. And their Fairies key organizers use magnets to keep your keys and everyday essentials together in one clean setup. What I like the most is that they're not making gimmicky gadgets. Basically, they're solving everyday annoyances with smart, thoughtful design. Everything is made from premium full grain leather that's built to last, ages really well over time, and is also backed by a 3-year warranty that you can use. The best part is that I've got the highest exclusive discount they offer. You can use my promo code Overshare Pamphlet to get 20% off any product. You just have to head to distillunion.com and use the code again, Overshare Pamphlet, at checkout. And just so we are transparent, I do earn a commission if you use my code. So if you decide to pick something up, you're also supporting the podcast through that. So thanks so much. And now let's get back into the episode. All right, now it's time for songs of the week. These are the first songs for the month of July. I only have 3 songs for you guys because I haven't found many new songs that I'm really obsessed with. I'm still listening to a lot of the old stuff from June at the moment, but the month has just started, so it is what it is, So the first song I want to talk about is 425 by Paluk Brigada. This is I've talked about this artist in in some of the previous episodes for the month of June, but this is just one of the songs that I've become increasingly obsessed with, I guess, from their album. And the track isn't just like about heartbreak in that sense. It's also got this cool blend of sounds. The song features like atmospheric bass and emotional vocals that give it a unique feel. Like it's pulling from both past and future vibes. It's a great example of how the band mixes different styles to create something really, really fresh. This is just, another great example of how these brothers of Blueberry. They've just been producing and writing so many great tracks on this album, but I just love that guitar riff that is sort of like a refrain in every chorus and post chorus, specifically in the post chorus is like even louder, I think. So catchy, so catchy, and I love that they're also not worried about making songs that are like on the longer side. Like this is 4:37 minutes long. Like it's longer for standards, I guess, like these days standards, but such a good, like, indie rock song. So good. So good. So good. If you like that, like a little band moment, like a little rock, but also confessional songwriting a little bit, this is it. Then of course, I have my queen, Carly Rae Jepsen, because ever since that new song came out, I've been, sort of revisiting some of her old albums, including The Loveliest Time. And so I never listened to the bonus track Anxious, and I've just started listening to it, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like this is just like a synth pop, pure synth pop sound that just like is so associated with Carly Rae Jepsen specifically, and it's very emotion. The album reminiscent in that sense. It's very 80s inspired with a lot of synthesizers and a throbbing bass line as well. And despite being a bonus track, it's been one of the standouts, I think. Now that I listen to it the most, like every people I've seen reviews of it, they just, is an incredible track. It's such a good song, such a good pop song. And he has a perfect also structure. He has a very catchy chorus and a very increasingly catchy also post chorus. Just great production. It's Carly Rae Jepsen. Like she's the architect of pop. Like she wrote the pop Bible with emotion, and she's still dropping incredible hits in every album that she makes, and they're under everyone's radar. Guys, like Carly Jepsen is the revolution, please. But this, hopefully, I was like, you know what, this is hopefully like what we're gonna get for the night side, like this type of vibe from her in the Day and Night album coming out in September. So excited to see what's gonna happen with that. I hope we get another single soon. But yeah, these are the three songs. Wait, did I talk about three songs already? I think I'm missing one. Oh yeah, I haven't talked about the third song, Love Attack, by Racine. That's the K-pop group. This song, I know it's very old. It's not very old. Like it's a couple of years old, probably. Yeah, but it's one of I think it's their most streamed song to date, um, and it's just so catchy. Like it's a song with a very good message. Like the lyrics compare basically love to the scent of ambergris, which is like a rare fragrance that only reaches its full potential when combined with other scents. And so the metaphor is basically like beautifully conveyed by the idea of people shine brightest when they're together, emphasizing how important it is to be like in unity when you're with someone basically. And yeah, like the song is just incredible. I don't know. I haven't followed, to be honest, Racine quite a lot, so I wasn't sure about the song, but it's so catchy, so good, very summery as I think as well. Like it's just very very cool. And what's good, if you know anything about like choreographers in K-pop, I think my K-pop fans might know um Rosalind, the one who also choreographed Next Level by aespa. She also choreographed this song. So go watch the dance performance or like any performance of this song. So amazing. um, yeah, so definitely go listen to these songs. And it will also include, of course, one song from the Madonna album that I liked, the one with Martin Garrix. So you guys can also check that out. And with that being said, see you guys next episode. Have a great week. Have a great July. There's going to be a lot of fun. See you very soon. Bye.